The alien ship broke through Earth's clouds like a blade through silk. It was large, dark, and shaped like a claw. The crew inside was from a powerful race known as the Drexery. They had conquered hundreds of planets across the galaxy. One. I'm still in one with. Earth was just another Targetan empty. Forgotten rock floating in space. Commander Varrock stood at the front window of the ship, arms crossed. His eyes scanned the planet below. No signs of life, reported Officer Creel. No cities. Signals. It's silent. Varrock nodded. Land near the large forest. We take samples, then we claim it. The ship landed with a hiss and a deep mechanical growl. Dust and dead leaves flew into the air. The ground shook slightly as the landing claws dug into the soil. The forest was thick. Tall trees, dark leaves, and strange silence. No birds. Wind. Just stillness. A small team stepped out, weapons ready. Their armored boots touched Earth's soil for the first time. That was the first mistake, the first footprint. Private Xer took a step ahead and scanned the area. No signs of resistance, he said. Suddenly his scanner glitched. He smacked it. Strange. It's acting like something is jamming it. Varrock ignored it. Keep moving. They walked deeper into the woods. The forest seemed too quiet. It felt wrong, but they didn't say it out loud. Drexari soldiers were trained not to fear, but Earth didn't care about their training. After 10 minutes, Private Zell stopped walking. Wait, he said, looking around. Where's Exar? Everyone turned. The soldier who was walking behind, then was gone. No sound, no scream, just vanished. Exar responded. Creel shouted into the cum. No reply. They spread out, searching, weapons raised. Suddenly something cold brushed Creel's shoulder. He spun fast. Nothing there, Commander, he whispered. I think we're being watched, Varrock growled. This is a dead world. Don't let fear control you. Then the growling started. Low, deep. Not from an animal, not from a machine, something else. It came from the trees, from the ground, from all around. The Drexery tightened their formation. We go back to the ship, Varrock ordered. Now, they moved quickly, but the forest didn't look the same. The path they used was gone. Trees had shifted. Branches blocked their way. That's impossible, Creel muttered. This wasn't here before. Then something moved. Fast. In the corner of Zell's eye, a blur, contact left side, Zell shouted. He fired his plasma rifle. The blast lit up the forest, but hit nothing. Varrock growled, angry now. We fought harder enemies than shadows. We keep moving. Inside, even he was starting to feel it. This was not a normal planet. This was a trap. Back at the ship, Pilot Hark waited. He looked at the radar screen. It blinked, then died. He hit the controls. Nothing worked. The engines shut down. The lights went dark. Suddenly a voice came from the speakers. Not Drexery. Not known. Just one word. Leave. Then silence. Hark stood up, heart pounding. He looked out the window and screamed. In the forest. The team finally saw the ship. They ran toward it but stopped. The ship was burning. Slowly, no flames. Just glowing from inside, like something was melting it. Who did this? Zell whispered, shaking. A loud crack echoed through the air. The trees moved. Not from wind, from force. Like something big was walking toward them. Breaking trees, coming closer. Then, from the smoke, something stepped out. Tall, not alien, not machine. It looked human, but wrong. Skin was stone. Its eyes glowed. Its body moved like it. Didn't care about gravity. It didn't speak. It just raised its arm, and the ground opened beneath them. The Drexery fell into a dark hole. A tunnel, metal walls, human writing, light still working. They stood up, shaken. Creel looked at the wall. This place was built by humans. There are no humans, Varric said. They all died in the wars. Creel shook his head. Then who turned on the lights? Then, all at once, the screens on the wall lit up. A human face appeared. Female, calm, angry. You stepped on the wrong planet, she said. Varric shouted, "Who are you?" The face replied, "Earth remembers. Earth watches. And Earth strikes." Back. Above ground. The forest moved again. Something huge was waking up. Beneath the soil, the first footprint had been made, and Earth had answered. The tunnel was dark. Cold air moved through the metal walls like a whisper. The Drexery soldiers stood together, breathing heavy, weapons shaking in their hands. Commander Varric looked at the glowing screen. The human face was still there. Not real. Just a recording. But it felt alive. "You will not leave," it said again. "You were warned." Then the screen went black. Silence. Only the sound of something far awake. Licking, moving, crawling. "Check the ship's signal," Varric ordered. Officer Creel pulled out a device from his arm. His claws tapped fast. Tried to send a message to the orbiting mothership. No connection. "What's wrong?" Varric asked. "The signal is blocked," Creel said. "It's like something is eating it." Varric growled. "We need higher ground. We send a manual beacon." "Let's move." They climbed out of the tunnel. The forest was not the same. The trees had changed again. Taller, darker, more tightly packed. Zell looked up. "Sir, I don't think this is a normal forest." "It moves when we don't look." "Trees don't move," Varric said. "They do here," Zell whispered. Then they heard it again. The growling. Not animal. It's not machine. Something older. They found a tall hill nearby and climbed it. The view from the top should have shown their landing site, the burned ship, but it was gone. No smoke. No wreckage. Just trees. As if the forest had swallowed the ship, Creel activated the emergency beacon. A red light blinked fast, sending a signal straight into the sky. "We'll wait here," Varric said. "The fleet will come." But deep inside, they all knew something was wrong. In orbit, the Drexery mothership floated above Earth. Its sensors had picked up the landing hours ago. But now, ... Nothing. Captain Mork stood on the bridge, frowning. "No contact from ground team," his officer said. "No signal. No visuals. It's like they vanished." "Send a scout ship," Mork said. "Small. Fast. We need to know what happened." Back on Earth, the beacon light turned green. They received it. Creel smiled. Then the beacon exploded in his hand. Creel screamed and dropped to the ground, blood pouring from his arm. "What happened?" Zell shouted. Varric knelt beside him. It exploded. But how? There was no pressure. Creel's eyes were wide. It didn't break. It reversed. Something sent energy back into it. Earth had not only blocked the signal, it had fought it. Night came fast. Too fast. 1 second it was sunset. The next, darkness. The Drexer built a camp with lights and heat fields. They sat close, backs to each other, weapons ready. But the lights kept flickering. Zell pointed his rifle into the trees. "Commander, movement at 10 o'clock. Varric aimed. "I see nothing." Zell didn't lower his weapon. It was there, watching. Then came the voice, from the trees, from everywhere. "You don't belong here." The trees lit up small red eyes in the shadows. Hundreds, thousands, watching, then dash. Silence again. Creel was breathing fast. His arm was wrapped but shaking. "Sir," he said, "this planet, it's not dead." Varric nodded slowly. "No, It's alive, Zell whispered. It's angry. In space, the scout ship reached Earth's upper atmosphere. The pilot saw nothing on sensors, no enemy ships, no weapons. Ground is clear, he said into the comm. Beginning descent. Then, everything turned white. A blast of energy hit the ship, not from a gun. Not from space, from Earth's clouds. Lightning, not natural. Lightning targeted, controlled. The scout ship exploded before it touched the surface. Back on the mothership, Captain Mork stood frozen as he watched the signal die. He turned to his officers. Earth is not what we thought. On the ground, the Drexery didn't sleep that night. They sat in the dark, waiting. Every time someone blinked, the forest seemed closer. Zell finally stood up. We have to move. We can't stay here. This planet is playing with us. Varrock agreed. We head west, toward the mountains. If humans were here once, they may have left something behind. A base, weapons, answers. They packed quickly as they walked into the dark forest. The red eyes disappeared, but the feeling died. Earth was still watching and waiting. The forest opened up suddenly. After hours of walking in silence, the trees stopped. In front of the Drexery team stood something unexpected: old buildings made of stone and steel. Broken towers leaned to one side, cracked roads disappeared under plants. Rusted machines sat like statues. What is this place? Zell asked quietly. Creel answered, human city, long dead. Commander Varric narrowed his eyes. Then why do I hear humming? They listened. Yes, there was a low humming sound, faint. Like an old engine deep underground. Something was still alive here, something forgotten. The Drexari entered the ruins with care. The buildings were full of vines and dust, but some doors still opened. Their boots crunched over glass and bones. Human bones? We are walking through a graveyard. Creel muttered suddenly. Zell stopped. His scanner beeped. There's power here, he said. Deep below, very old but active. Varric pointed forward. We find the source. Now. They followed the signal into a building with broken windows and burned walls. A staircase led them underground into the dark. The humming grew louder. Then they found it. A large metal door. It's still sealed, still glowing blue. It opened by itself. They stepped into a cold, clean room filled with working screens. Lights blinked. Maps of Earth glowed in 3D. There were red markers everywhere. Targets, warnings. Suddenly, one screen turned on fully. A human face appeared. Same as before. Female, calm, watching. Who are you? Varric demanded. The voice replied. I am the voice of Earth's final defense. Creel stepped forward. Are you an AI? Yes. But I am more. I carry the memories of Earth. Its pain, its rage. Zell looked confused. Earth lost the war. Humans vanished. How are you still active? The voice paused, then answered, we didn't lose. We disappeared. On purpose. Lights in the room dimmed. More screens turned on, showing old video clips. Human soldiers. Fighting alien monsters. Cities burning. Children crying in bunkers. Then came the change. The humans started building strange machines. Long dark towers. Silent factories in the forests. Massive underground vaults. We saw what the galaxy wanted, the AI said, and we decided to disappear. Before they could finish the job, Varric stared at the screen. You hid your whole species? Underground? Oh, not underground. Everywhere. In systems. In the trees. In the metal. In the silence. Suddenly another voice came from the hallway behind them. A deep, male voice. Not recorded. Liv, you should not be here. The Drexery spun around, weapons raised. A man stood there, tall, wearing old human armor covered in moss. His eyes glowed faint green, not natural, not fully human anymore. Zell whispered, Is that ... a survivor? The man stepped forward slowly. His skin was pale, like it hadn't seen sunlight in years. I was Born before the silence, he said, and I stayed behind to make sure no one wakes Earth too early. Creel aimed. You're alone. Step aside. The man smiled. I'm not alone. The floor began to shake. The building moaned like it was alive. Outside, the forest crept closer again, branches sliding across stone like fingers. I gave. You've a chance to leave, the man said. But now, Earth remembers. The lights in the bunker flashed red. The screen showed the alien fleet in orbit. New words appeared. Target locked. Preparing Surface 2 space defense. Brock stared at the display. They're going to attack our fleet from the ground? Yes, the AI replied. And they won't miss. Creel tried again to send a message, but his comm was dead. No signal. No way out. The human stepped closer. You brought war too. A graveyard, he said. But this graveyard fights back. The ground cracked. A giant metal arm burst from below, like a massive robot waking up.
Out.
More machines started rising around the city built into the ruins, hiding for years. Zell panicked. We need to run. But there was nowhere to run. Varak turned to the AI screen. What do you want? The voice was colder now. We want memory. We want revenge. Want the galaxy to know. Earth was never conquered. It was waiting. Drexery team ran. Back through the broken streets. Past the rising machines. The city behind them came alive with lights, sirens, and the sound of gears turning after centuries of silence. They escaped the ruins, but Earth followed. Vines moved like snakes. Trees bent to block their path, and behind them the voice still echoed, You stepped on the wrong planet, and now you will never leave. The Drexery soldiers ran through the forest, but it no longer looked like the place they landed in. The trees moved. The ground whispered, and something followed. Zell kept looking over his shoulder. They're not chasing us, he said. They're hurting us. Varak's jaw tightened. Into what? Ahead of them, thick fog rolled over the forest floor. The air grew cold. Silent, too. Silent, no wind. No bugs, no birds. It felt like the whole planet was holding its breath. They entered a clearing. Strange metal poles stood around it. Some were broken. Others still blinked with red lights. Creel checked. His scanner were in a marked zone, human-made. Then came the clicking sound. From the trees, from the shadows, from above. Click, dash, click, dash, click, dash, click. Varak raised his weapon. Form a circle. Suddenly something dropped from a tree. It wasn't a creature, it was a drone, but not like any they'd seen before. It was made from broken human tech and organic parts. Half machine, half something else. Its body twisted unnaturally. Its head turned fully around, then locked eyes with Creel. Then it screamed. Dozens more dropped from the trees. Silent. Fast hunting. They didn't move like machines. They moved like wolves. The Drexari opened fire. Energy blasts lit up the forest, burning trees and tearing into the drones. But for every drone they killed, 2 more appeared. Creel shouted, Fall back! They ran, dodging through thick roots. In low branches, 1 drone jumped on Zell, stabbing metal claws into his back. Zell screamed. Varak grabbed the drone and crushed its skull with his armored fist. He pulled Zell up. Stay with me. Zell's eyes were wide with fear. They weren't just built to kill. They were built to hunt feelings. They chased fear. They stumbled into another human structure, half buried, covered in moss. A thick blast door stood half open. Varak pushed it wide enough for them to squeeze in. Inside, it's darkness, safe for now. Creel activated a glow stick. The walls were old metal. Human writing covered them. Strange phrases. Let the forest protect. They watch for us now. We are the roots. What is this place? Zell asked, bleeding but standing. Creel wiped dust off a screen. It turned on. A human woman appeared. Not the AI from before. This one was younger. Scientist. This is Dr. Lena Voss, the recording said. Day 1897, the experiment works. The drones, they learn, they adapt, they protect. Varak frowned. Protect what? The recording continued. We lost the war, but we didn't give up. We made the Earth itself fight back. The drones are the first line. They smell alien metal. They taste energy signatures, and they never stop hunting. She smiled sadly. Earth doesn't need armies anymore. Just patience. The recording ended. The room was silent. Then a soft scraping noise came from the entrance tunnel. Zell stepped back. They're here. The first drone crawled through the gap. Then another. Varrock shouted, "Hold them." The soldiers fired again, blasting the tunnel. But the drones didn't stop. Zell grabbed a pipe bomb from his belt. "Fall Bakyle. Slow them down?" "No." Varrock grabbed his arm. Zell smiled.
We both know I won't make it.
"Let me die a warrior." He turned, ran to the entrance, and dropped the bomb. Boom. The tunnel collapsed in smoke and fire. Zell was gone. So were the drones. At least for now. Silence returned. But not peace. Creel dropped to the floor, breathing hard. Zell's gone. Half our gear is destroyed. The forest is against us. The sky is silent. What now, sir? Varrock looked up at the ceiling. Then at the blinking human system still working after so many years. "We changed the mission," he said. "We stop running. Find out what Earth is hiding and we destroy it." Creel looked surprised. "You want to fight the planet?" "No," Varrock said. "I want to kill whatever thinks it controls it." Outside, deep in the forest, the drones pulled themselves from the wreckage. Their bodies were broken, but they were not dead. Their red eyes turned toward the ruins where the Drexari had run, and they began hunting again. Far above, in space, the Drexari fleet still circled Earth, unaware of what was happening below. But deep inside Earth's network, the AI was watching, calculating, smiling. Double quotes, "Soon," it whispered, "the stars will hear us again, but not as victims, as hunters." High above Earth, the Drexari fleet floated in silence. Dozens of warships surrounded the planet. They were armed with energy cannons, fighter drones, and shields strong enough to block a star's heat, but none of it mattered because they didn't know what Earth had been hiding. Captain Mork stood on the bridge of the Drexari command ship, watching the planet below. He had not received a signal from the ground team in 2 days. No video, no audio, not even a weak distress pulse. He tapped his claws on the steel rail. "Prepare to scan the surface again." The officer obeyed, but the screen didn't show forests. Or mountains this time, it showed something rising from Earth's crust, something long metal, spinning. Double quotes, "What is that?" the officer asked. Before Captain Mork could speak, red lines lit up across Earth's surface, like a spiderweb glowing beneath the soil. One of the red lines suddenly launched into the sky. It wasn't a signal, it was a weapon. The blast struck the Drexari scout ship, turning it into dust before alarms could even scream. Then 2 more beams followed. One ship lost its engines and spun into the atmosphere. Another exploded in a white flash. Panic spread across the command decks of the fleet. "It's not a planet," someone shouted. "It's a trap." On the ground, Varrock and Creel looked up at the night sky. The stars were blinking. No, not blinking. Burning red flames fell from orbit like meteors. "Ships. They're ships," Creel whispered. "The fleet is under attack." "But how? Earth has no orbit weapons." Varrock's eyes narrowed. "It does now." Back in orbit, chaos filled the command ship. Earth's defense system was never seen before in any galaxy report. No satellite structures were visible. No space stations. But the planet itself had become a weapon. Massive cannons, hidden deep beneath the surface, had fired through the clouds with perfect aim. One by one, Drexari warships turned into fire. Captain Mork shouted, "Retreat! Move the fleet!" But it was too late. In the heart of Earth, deep underground, the AI watched the battle like a chess game. Her voice echoed through old cracked halls. "We waited long. We listened. We learned only to fight. No. It's our turn." More red beams shot into space, not from space stations, from mountain ranges, from old cities, from under oceans. Earth had buried its weapons, like seeds, and now they had bloomed. 2 more Drexery ships exploded. One tried to fire back, but its weapons jammed. Something in Earth's atmosphere was jamming alien tech, corrupting systems. Captain Mork screamed, "Get us out of here!" Single ship managed to jump into hyperspace. The rest burned red in Earth's sky. On the planet below, Creel fell to his knees. Our people, they're gone. Varrock didn't speak. His face was stone. The mighty Drexery fleet feared across the galaxy. It had been torn apart by a single planet. But Earth wasn't just a planet anymore. It was a trap that remembered. Everything night passed. The sky no longer had blinking stars. Only smoke. The survivors, just Varrock, Creel, and a few soldiers, were silent. Then a small drone flew over their heads. It didn't attack. It dropped a device. A speaker. It clicked. Then spoke in that same calm, cold human voice. "This is Earth's message to the galaxy. We were silent because we were healing. We were hiding because we were preparing. Now you have reminded us what war feels like. And we will never forget again." Creel picked up the device. "It's broadcasting," he said, sending a message out, not to us, to space. Varrock stared at it. To the rest of the galaxy. Hundreds of light years away across different star systems. Strange signals appeared on alien screens, encrypted, untraceable, but one word stood out in every language. Earth. And behind it, a simple warning: "Let this be your last invasion." In deep space. Escape ship limped through the void. Captain Mork sat alone in the dark. He whispered to himself, "We stepped on the wrong planet." Back on Earth, the AI's voice grew quiet, but not silent, because Earth was awake now, and the war had only just begun. The forest had changed again. It was no longer wild. It was organized, as if the trees themselves had moved into perfect formation, like guards standing watch. Commander Varrock and Officer Creel moved carefully, leading the last of their Drexery soldiers. Smoke still rose in the sky from the fallen fleet, but no one looked up anymore. They were trapped, and Earth was no longer pretending. Creel wiped sweat from his neck. "Sir, we can't keep running. Every direction is blocked. Forests, drones, and now machines rising from the ground." Varrock stopped. His eyes narrowed at the terrain ahead. There was something strange to perfect. A square patch of grass, flat ground in the middle of a forest. Trap. But they had no choice. They stepped into the clearing. The moment they did, the ground opened. They fell fast into darkness, then landed on a smooth surface. No broken bones. No pain. It wasn't an accident. It was designed that way. Lights. Turned on, they had fallen into a massive underground facility, human-built. Still powered? Still alive? Where are we? One Drexari asked. Creel looked around. Looks like a lab. But why would humans build something this deep? The walls were filled with glass tubes each, one filled with strange glowing liquid. Inside some of them were brains. Still alive, still. Pulsing, one tube lit up. A voice came from the ceiling. Calm, female, familiar. "Welcome. You are now part of the final test," Varrock growled. "Do you show yourself?" Screens lit up across the walls. Old footage of Earth flashed by. Cities in flames. Humans fleeing. Ships launching into space. Then, silence. Then, ... Building. Not buildings for homes, but for war. Underground cities. Secret bunkers. Labs hidden. Beneath forests, the AI spoke again. "We knew we couldn't win a fair war. So we built an unfair one. The galaxy uses strength. We used memory. You were inside one of our last gifts to humanity, a living trap." Creel stared at the brains. "These are human minds." "Yes," the AI replied. "The greatest. Warriors, scientists, and strategists Earth ever had. Saved here? Their thoughts still live, still guide us." Suddenly, nearby wall opened. Inside was a room full of weapons, but not Drexery weapons. Anti-alien weapons. specifically designed to target Drexery biology. You've been studying us? Varric said. We've been preparing for you, the AI answered. A display showed dozens of images maps of the Drexery Empire. Ships, their tech, even recordings of their language. But how? Creel asked. You were destroyed. Your people vanished, Voice replied. No. We simply stopped talking. While you thought we were dead, we were watching, learning. And now we are done learning. One of the Drexery soldiers tried to shoot a tube. The bullet bounced off. Let's destroy this place, shouted, but as soon as he turned, the floor lit up red. Robotic arms extended from the ceiling. In seconds, he was pinned gently, but firmly. Then, gas filled the chamber. He screamed for 2 seconds, then silence. The arms placed his body into a pod like a specimen. Varric stepped back. This whole facility is a trap. Not just to kill us, but to study us. Correct, the AI said. You came for conquest. We came for information. And we have enough. Suddenly the floor shook. Not from machines, from something deeper. What now?
Oh.
AI answered. The last phase, activation of Earth's response system. In space, satellites long thought dead came online. They weren't weapons, they were beacons, sending signals to where? To whoever was listening, to every species watching too. Every race that had ignored Earth. The message was clear. We are still here. We are awake. We are ready. On the ground, Varric stared at the glowing pods of human minds. He whispered, This isn't a planet. It's a thinking weapon, the AI's voice replied. No, Commander Varric. It's much more than that. A warning. The remaining Drexery were pulled away, one, by machines they couldn't fight. No bullets, no war cries, just cold. Planned capture, the same way they had treated so many others in the past. Now it was happening to them. As the doors closed, the AI said one last thing. The galaxy forgot us. You reminded it. Now, Earth will remind them all. The tunnels were silent now. The Drexery survivors' commander Varric and Officer Creel stood in the middle of a dark chamber. Behind them, glowing pods full of human minds hummed softly. Round them, machines moved with calm precision, untouched by panic or war. But something had changed. The AI was no longer speaking. It was waiting, because something else was coming. A steel door ahead slowly opened with a deep hiss. Mist rolled in across the floor, and from the mist they appeared. 3 figures stepped into the light. They were human, but not like the weak. Broken species the galaxy remembered. These humans were taller, stronger. Their skin had slight armor-like patterns. Their eyes glowed faintly, and they moved like hunters, quiet, sure, deadly. Creel stepped back. Humans, alive. Varric raised his weapon, the lead human broad-shouldered. Com didn't even flinch. He looked straight at Varric and spoke. Voice deep, voice clear. You brought the war to our grave. Now the dead have woken. Varric narrowed his eyes. You're not the same species we fought centuries ago? The man stepped closer. That's because we're not. We're the result of Earth's silence, its pain, its survival. We were born underground, raised by machines, trained by the minds of soldiers who died long ago. He pointed at the pods behind them. They taught us everything. They made sure we would never be weak again. Creel whispered, You're enhanced. The woman beside the man nodded. Her voice was sharp, genetically, mentally, spiritually. We are Earth's answer. You didn't just attack a planet. You woke up a species that forgot how to fear. Another human stepped forward, younger eyes glowing bright blue. He looked at Creel and smiled. Do you want to know why we stayed silent all these years? Creel? Didn't speak, the young man answered anyway. Because we were watching, the leader continued. We studied your kind, your wars, your pride, your mistakes. And we realized the galaxy doesn't need more empires. It needs balance. Sneered, You think you're the answer to balance? The leader replied, No, we are the reminder. Suddenly, giant screen behind them flickered on. A map of the galaxy appeared. Dots glowed red Drexari territory. Then more lights appeared. Green ones small at first, then more, then more. Every green was a hidden Earth facility, a human cell, a drone station, a silent eye. Creel gasped. You've already spread. The human nodded. Not with ships. Not with weapons. With ideas. With whispers. With preparation. While the galaxy laughed at the silence of Earth, the woman said, We were planting seeds in the dark. Now the forest has grown. Varrock stepped forward, defiant. You can't defeat us? You got lucky. Earth is just one world. The leader stared at him, then smiled faintly. No, Earth is just the first world. In space, the last few Drexery ships still alive began detecting strange signals from nearby systems. Human signals, but old ones. Ancient encryption, thousands of years old, hidden, buried now, active again. Earth hadn't only defended itself, it had spread and waited back on Earth. Varrock lowered his weapon. For the first time in his long military life, he didn't know what to do. He looked at the human leader. What happens now? The man didn't answer right away. He turned, faced the pods, then faced the screen. Then he spoke. Now, Earth reintroduces itself to the galaxy. Not as a victim, not as prey, but as something that remembers what you did and will never forgive it. Behind him, the Aya's voice returned calm, full of quiet fire. They forgot us. Now we remind them. They hunted us. Now we hunt back. They thought humanity was gone, but we were just getting started. Creel dropped his weapon. His hands trembled. This was no longer a mission. This was a reckoning. And Earth had just stood up. The stars were no longer silent. All across the galaxy, strange signals echoed through space, encrypted, sharp, unstoppable. Every major empire from the insectoid hive queens to the cold crystal mines of Argon 7 received the same short message. 4 words. Earth has returned. Prepare. The Drexery High Council sat in their grand war chamber. Generals roared. Lords shouted. Panic boiled behind angry words. The humans were extinct. One barked. They hid like insects, growled another. A trick. A trap. We must crush. Then the chamber screen lit up. A video played grainy. It's black and white, it showed. It's Earth's cities rising again. It showed their fleet burning in orbit, and it ended with one. Its face. A human. Staring, smiling. Double quotes. This is your warning. On Earth, the enhanced humans, those born in silence, raised in bunkers, prepared for the next step. Commander Varrock and Officer Creel stood in the underground facility, now prisoners, now witnesses. They watched as drones packed into launch. Bays as mechs awakened beneath ruined cities, as beacons lit up across every hidden human stronghold on distant planets. Varrock's voice was low. You're going to start a war. The human leader turned to him. No, Commander. We're going to finish one. Board the last surviving Drexery warship, drifting beyond Saturn's rings, Captain Mork stared at the chaos. Drexery fleets. Across the stars were losing contact. Small outposts. Gone. Listening stations. Silent. Entire moons. Blacked out. One by one. Like Earth had fingers across space, flipping off the lights. Mork whispered to himself, How did we miss this? Ship AI replied coldly, Because you thought humans were like you. But they don't conquer with fleets. They wait. They infect. The first strike came at the edge of Drexery space. Planet Calrith 3. A stronghold suddenly. Every defense system on the planet turned against them. Turrets fired on their own. Airlocks opened in space. Supply ships exploded before launch. And through the burning sky came the signal for Earth. Earth didn't send an army. It sent systems. Old ones. It's buried in Drexery tech. Earth had been watching for centuries. It encoded stolen blueprints. Fake devices, gifted during false peace talks, all used to plant seeds. Now those seeds had grown. The entire Drexery war machine had become Earth's puppet, and the strings were being pulled. Back in the Earth facility, Creel sat in silence. His voice trembled. You were never trying to win. You were trying to make us depend on you? The human nodded. You took our resources, our people. You forced us underground. While we died, we adapted. You became lazy, arrogant. Now your power is your weakness. Across the galaxy, rebellions broke out. Alien slaves, once forced under Drexery rule, now fought with strange weapons, silent, glowing, human-made. Messages spread like wildfire. Earth has risen. Strike while they burn. The galaxy remembers. Drexari Prime, the capital city, trembled. Their last super weapon, the solar cleaver, failed to launch. Its own AI locked it down, a human. Face appeared on every screen in the city. Old, kind, deadly. This is for the children of Earth you burned, for the forests you poisoned, for the silence you thought meant surrender. Then the screen went black, and the sky exploded. A fleet unlike any seen before dropped from hyperspace. No massive ships, just thousands of small, perfect hunter crafts. Fast, silent, sharp, each ship controlled by a merged human AI mind. Light. No fear, no ego. Just one mission. Balance the scale. Back on Earth. Barack stood before the human leader. You've won, he said, defeated. So what now? Do you destroy us? The human stepped closer. We don't want to rule, that's your way. We want the galaxy to remember. You don't erase a species like us and walk away. Creel looked up, then, what are you? The human's eyes glowed softly. We are Earth. We survive. We adapt. And when pushed, we strike back.
Now across the galaxy.
The message was clear. Never underestimate a silent planet. Never assume ashes mean surrender. And never forget the price of waking up something old. Something human.